everybody, and welcome back to another Pokemon Challenge video. Going through Pokemon Crystal with only a Bulbasaur was a ton of fun, but today I'm ready for a brutal one. This Pokemon was heavily suggested by you guys, the Ice and Ground Pig Pokemon Swinub. And I decided Pokemon Emerald would be the perfect fit for this little guy, since Swinub probably doesn't like that 7.8 too much water rating. Fun fact, it's the only Pokemon who's able to be immune to all the weather effects, being Hail, Sandstorm, and Shadow Sky. No other Pokemon has the same type combination as Swinub in its evolutions, and this also makes them the only Pokemon weak to all three types of starter Pokemon, being Grass, Fire, and Water. With really common weaknesses like that, you can only begin to imagine how difficult this might be in the Hoenn region, known for its vast amount of water. Its stats aren't anything special either. With a base total of 250, it's tied with Snom for the lowest special defense of any ice type. And considering that all grass, water, and fire moves in Generation 3 are special, we could be in for a really rough time. All ice moves are special too, and that special attack is laughable. 50 speed is bad, don't get me wrong, but it could be a lot worse looking at these stats. Nothing goes higher than 50. And if you're wondering, hey, maybe it has an ability that'll be useful. Ha! I laugh at you! In Generation 3, it can only have Oblivious. Unfortunately, no, this does not make it oblivious to all damage, but instead just prevents it from being infatuated, something we don't even see in this run. As for its move pool, it's Generation 3. Do you think it learns a ground-type move upon level up? No, it doesn't. Meaning, just like with our Gligar Gavin in the Morrison run, our first ground move isn't until Dig, and then Earthquake. But at least it's better than Phanpy. The best moves we'll have until we reach Mauville City are Tackle and Powder Snow. Luckily, we can get the TM for Ice Beam at the game corner. But other than that, and the late game Earthquake, there isn't really much good that Swinub can do. As for the rules, they're the same as usual. No items in battle. Outside of battle is fine, of course, and so are any held items or Pokeballs for HM users. Once I get access to our PC, I can only use the Swinub that I start the game with in battle. HM users are fine as always, but only Swinub's allowed to fight, and it cannot be evolved. And I must defeat Steven Stone. Also, in case you're wondering, for Tate and Liza, I'll bring a low-level Magikarp and use Splash to affect the battle as little as possible. I think this is gonna be a pretty brutal one, but I'm looking forward to a really challenging one. I honestly don't know if we can even beat Steven Stone, or even Wallace for that matter. Let me know if you think we can do this. And as always, if you enjoy the video, it'd be really awesome if you left a quick like down below, and maybe even a nice comment like these guys. Thanks so much, PokeKidGamer, the Sleepy Kirby Gamer, and the Lemony Lime. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the challenge runs. Let's jump into this and see how easy or how difficult it would be to beat Pokemon Emerald with only a single Swinub and no items in battle. I begin our adventure as a young boy named Tony. And what kind of Tony would I be without a Spyshack? Or in this case, a Spinub named Spyshack. I made this one shiny since it's a really gorgeous color that a lot of people don't get to see very often. And it was ruined after Generation 3. He only knows Tackle until level 10, which means a bit of a slow start. But once he learns Powder Snow, he's able to deal a lot more damage. Unfortunately though, this is the strongest Ice-type attack we'll have until Mauville City. Regardless, it's time for our first gym challenge, versus the Rock-type gym leader, Roxanne. While Powder Snow is super effective against her Geodude, it isn't against her Ace Nosepass, meaning level 15 probably won't be enough without a lucky freeze. So I go get a few level ups and try again, hoping we could one-shot her Geodude. He still just barely fails to knock them out, however, but that might be a good thing. It causes her to use all of her healing items on the Geodude, only to then get immediately knocked out anyways. So while we need to take a hit from Geodude, it's better than her healing her Nosepass. And that's exactly how it works out. Spyshack freezes Nosepass solid, and it stays frozen long enough. for him to take it out. Had she still had healing items, that would have went much differently. There's the stone badge. 1 down, 7 to go. I immediately deliver the letter to Steven Stone and take down Team Aqua in Slateport. With the fighting gym coming up, I know we're going to need as much training as possible, so I fight all of the trainers I can, getting Spy Shack to level 24. Our damage output is pretty horrendous. Swinub's not very strong, so I take a page from the Huntail and Gorbis run that I did, and teach our Swinub the Move Tutor move for Swagger. This is a double-edged sword. It raises our foe's attack stat by 2 stages and then confuses them, meaning if they hurt themselves, it does a lot more damage. I decide to fight our rival before the gym to see if we can do it without training. Her Wingull goes down in 2 shots, and surprisingly, we outspeed all of her Pokemon, allowing for Spy Shack to use Swagger on Combusken. It does a massive amount of damage to itself, and by using Endure, I can guarantee several extra chances for it to hurt itself. Since if Endure works, I won't get knocked out. This allows for him to take Combusken down as well. But her final Pokemon's Alambre, and unfortunately, it hits through taking us out. I'll try again in a little bit. Let's go try the second gym first. Versus the fighting type gym leader, Brawly. He leads with his Machop, who uses Bulk Up on the first turn. By hitting it with Powder Snow, and then Swagger, if it hurts itself, we can take it out the next turn. His Meditite's a non-threat, since its fighting move is Focus Punch. As long as I attack, it can't do anything to me, and this causes Brawly to use up his healing items as well, making it a detriment to his team. But his ace Makuhita is basically the same scenario as May's Combusken, except slightly harder to take down. But once we do, we'll win the fight and not have another Pokemon to fight like Lombre. So after several attempts, I'm able to get Makuhita to hurt itself. It doesn't do a massive amount, but with a few more uses of Swagger, it can. But first we use Endure to stall between turns. It snaps out right away, taking Spy Shack down to 1 hit point. And since it snapped out, we have to use Swagger again. This confuses it, making its attack +4. Luckily, this time it hurts itself in confusion, knocking it all the way to red and consuming its Citrus Berry. We Endure again, and it hits through again. Then we Endure again, and it hurts itself, bringing it to red once more, and 1 Powder Snow from there takes it out. Wow, I just found a way to use Endure to great effect. You don't get to see that every day. I love strategies like that. There's the Knuckle Badge. 2 down, 6 to go. And now that I have this strategy down to a science, I head back to May and give it another shot. After reaching Lombre a few times, we managed to get it to hurt itself multiple times, even taking a risk and going for Tackle. Everything lined up just right, and we managed to take down May. By doing so, we reach Mauville City and get access to the Game Corner. For 4,000 coins, we can purchase the TM for Ice Beam, a well-needed upgrade to Powder Snow. After fighting all of the trainers available to us, we have our third gym challenge versus the Electric-type gym leader, Watson. And shockingly, no pun intended, Spy Shack is able to outspeed his Voltorb. This little guy is pretty quick. Ice Beam takes out Voltorb and Electrike in a single shot each, and then it freezes Magneton solid. However, Ice Beam only has 10 power points, and it quickly goes down to only 1. And because Magneton defrosted and Watson used a bunch of items, I had to go for Swagger to save a power point. Eventually he takes Magneton down, but his health is pretty low, as his ace Manectric comes out. It uses Howl to raise its attack, and I use our final Ice Beam. It freezes it solid, but all we have to attack with now is Takedown. So I have Spy Shack use Swagger, just in case it thaws out. Takedown takes it down really low, but then misses the next turn. And then Manectric defrosts. But it hurts itself in confusion, barely hanging on with just a single hit point. But then, Takedown misses again! And then it hits through on the next turn. And with +3 attack, it still failed to take Spy Shack out. He survived on only 3 hit points. And 1 final takedown takes it out, and the recoil only did a single point of damage. There's the Dynamo badge. 3 down, 5 more to go. First thing I do upon reaching Fall Arbor Town is get the TM for Dig and teach it to our Spy Shack. Spy Shack then crushes Maxie from Team Magma very easily, as even Camera-Up's Ember hardly did anything. By taking the meteorite from the podium, we can take this to Professor Cosmo for the TM for return. This is by far one of the strongest moves we can get right now. And upon reaching Lava Ridge Town, I grab the Wynot egg from the old lady at the hot springs. But let's shake things up a little bit. I put it in the PC. I'll get it out later for you guys to guess on. Time for our 4th gym challenge versus the fire-type gym leader Flannery. Return one-shots Nummel, but then Camera-Up comes out immediately, and we fail to one-shot it with Dig. And it's Overheat one-shot Spy Shack every single time. We're gonna need to rely on Swagger. With it hurting itself in confusion just one time, Dig finishes the job, and then one more return takes Slugma out as well. But that still leaves her ace Torkoal. Dig is nowhere near a one-shot, meaning we need to use Swagger again. With it hurting itself in confusion twice, we can use Return the first time for a bit of damage that only takes 1 turn. And then by using Dig on the next turn, Torkoal is now in the range to be taken out. There's the Heat badge. 4 down, 4 more to go. Before heading to Petalburg, I stop by the Mirage Tower really quick and pick up a fossil. I picked the Root fossil. I might as well tell you, since nobody ever asks anyway. Just tell me what your favorite kind of bread is. That'll work. I like dry bread, personally, because he says comments are good for the YouTube out. Now it's time for our 5th gym challenge versus the normal type gym leader, our father Norman. He leads with Spinda, and after it takes a return, it confuses Spy Shack with Teeter Dance. Unfortunately, he hurts himself in confusion twice, but he just continues to use Teeter Dance on an already confused Pokemon. Why? This makes it so we don't take any extra damage from Spinda. Next up is his ace Slacking right away. And since our Spy Shack knows Dig, he transforms into a Spy Bunker and makes it impossible for Slacking to hit him, taking it out after a long but surefire strategy. Vigoroth comes out next and takes Spy Shack down to yellow before going down to 2 hits from Ice Beam, with his final Pokemon being Linoone. 1 Ice Beam and 1 Dig finishes Norman off. There's the Balance badge. 5 down, only 3 to go. Spy Shack defeats Team Aqua at the Weather Institute really easily, and the same can be said for our rival May once more, making it time for our 6th gym challenge versus the flying type gym leader Winona. And since we have the type advantage, this goes about as easily as you would expect. Ice Beam one-shots her lead Swablu, followed by her Tropius. Her Pelipper causes issues, as it pretty much will with any Pokemon with Supersonic and Protect, but he manages to snap out just in time to finish Skarmory and her ace Altaria, earning our 6th badge. There's the Feather badge. 6 down, only 2 to go. I make sure to grab the Wynot egg out of the PC before leaving Four Tree City. Comment down below the closest town in relation to where you think it's going to hatch. I'll give a shout out to the first person who gets it right the next time we get an egg in a challenge video. Shout out to Kyle B for being the first person to get it right in the Crystal Bulbasaur run. Nice job! We then chase Team Aqua out of Mount Pyre, and then take that Magma emblem straight to Maxie of Team Magma. We cut it pretty close, but really don't have any issue. And the final rival battle with May was really easy as well, making it time for our 7th gym challenge versus the Psychic type gym leaders, Tate and Liza. And this gym battle is one of the hardest fights in any Pokemon game. In Pokemon Emerald at least. There is no way our little Spy Shack can beat them at his current state. Ice Beam can't even one-shot either Xatu or Claydol, and Earthquake and Psychic completely overpower him. So I get him trained up to level 55 and teach him the move Blizzard. This hits both opponents in a double battle, making it weaker than Ice Beam, but the ability to double target goes a really long way. The best way I found to handle Xatu and Claydol is with Blizzard. If it manages to hit them both, we take them both out in 2 turns, and Claydol's Earthquake is manageable, and Xatu's Psychic always tends to go for the Magikarp I had to bring. There's nothing I can do about that, unfortunately, but even still, level 55 wasn't gonna be enough. So I go back and train even further, taking him to level 60, and this still doesn't feel like enough. But I don't want to go any higher unless I absolutely have to. Swinub doesn't really have anything else I could try that would work any better. Amnesia isn't worth it because we're being double targeted with no real way to heal ourselves. I continue to throw myself at this fight for a really long time, and then our first Blizzard freezes Claydol solid. This is actually perfect. Our previous strategy had me fighting both Solrock and Lunatone at the same time. But if Claydol stays frozen, we can turn this double battle into a single battle. Ice Beam takes Xatu out in one shot, and then Claydol stays frozen solid as Solrock comes out. Ice Beam does over half to Solrock, and it summons the sun with Sunny Day. Thankfully, this doesn't thaw Claydol out. That's not how it works. And Solrock's Citrus Berry takes it above half. But luckily, the next Ice Beam still takes it out, and Solrock is by far the biggest threat in this fight. Claydol's still frozen solid, and Ice Beam takes Lunatone to half as it begins to calm its mind. The next one won't be able to take it out from here now, so instead I go for Swagger. This confuses Lunatone, and then it hurts itself in confusion, activating its Citrus Berry as the next Ice Beam hits it. It snaps out of confusion and hits Spyshack for the first time in the fight with a Psychic, activating our Citrus Berry I brought. And the following Ice Beam finishes Lunatone off. And with Claydol still frozen solid, one final Ice Beam finishes the twins off. That took so long. Nice work, Spyshack. There's the Mind Badge. 7 down, only one more to go. With Steven's help, we take down Team Magma yet again, and then Team Aqua right after, getting the TM for Earthquake along the way. And upon reaching Sootopolis City, our egg hatched into a Wynaut. If you said Sootopolis City, you were exactly right. Now it's time for our 8th and final gym challenge versus the Water-type Gym Leader Juan. I expected this to be really difficult, but I got really lucky. Earthquake one-shots his lead Love Disc. 2 hits from return take Whiscash out while it only uses Amnesia, as they tend to do. Earthquake does over half to his Kingdra, but the second one missed after it uses a double team. He then has Kingdra use Rest. This fully heals it, waking it up immediately with the Chesto Berry it holds. But the following Earthquake hits, getting a critical hit, fixing the mistake the miss had caused. Then his Crawdaunt misses a Crab Hammer, making me feel even better, and I'm glad it did, because Celio did a lot of damage with Water Pulse. But that's all she wrote for Juan. There's the Rain Badge! That is all 8 badges of the Hoenn region in our possession. It's time to head to the Pokemon League. But first, we give Wally a quick beatdown. He's just no match at all for our little Spyshack. And afterwards, we reach the Pokemon League. Here's a look at Spyshack as he currently stands. And with the champion being a Water-type trainer, I'm not even gonna bother trying right now. I know, we stand 0 chance. We definitely need to train our little guy up. I get him up to level 76, and then use the 2 rare candies I've managed to pick up along the way to get him to level 78. Even then, I don't think it'll be enough, but let's give it a shot. First up is the Dark-type member, Sydney. He has 2 Pokemon weak to Ice and is severely underleveled compared to us. Yet, we still fail to one-shot his ace Absol. That has me really concerned. The Ghost-type member Phoebe's next, and while it starts really poorly due to bad confusion luck, our Spyshack is still able to get past her team with the powerful Earthquake. Next up is the Ice-type user Glacia. And while she is an Ice-type user, she has 3 Water types. But I retaught the move Amnesia. This boosts our special defense 2 stages, making us able to take water hits a lot better. Even with the use of a little bit of amnesia dust, Surf still does a lot to Spyshack, but most definitely a lot less than it could have. He cuts it really close, but manages to just barely oink by with just 10 hit points remaining. And with the final member of the Elite Four being the Dragon member Drake, we for the first time in what feels like forever have the type advantage, one-shotting his entire team thanks to a critical hit on his Kingdra. It is time for the champion of the Hoenn region. Does our little swine-up Spyshack have what it takes to beat the man who dances with water in Hoenn? Let's find out. I make sure to give Spyshack a Pecha Berry for this, since 2 of his Pokemon have Toxic. And if we get hit by that, it's an instant loss. He leads with Wailord, and I lead with Earthquake. The goal was to get it as low as possible, so Water Spout doesn't do much while I set up Amnesia. Unfortunately, Earthquake does too little, causing for Water Spout to do too much. We're going to have to freeze Wailord to stand a chance. Eventually, we get it to freeze solid, and Spyshack is able to use Amnesia 3 times to get to the max special defense. It thaws out after we go to knock it out, only doing 7 damage with Water Spout, as Wallace heals, but it goes down in 2 more shots, meaning it doesn't get to attack again. Next is his Tentacruel, who goes down to 1 quick Earthquake, making Whiscash next up. These are usually really stupid, but I guess we'll never know what it was gonna do, as Earthquake gets a critical hit, taking it out. Next up is Ludicolo. Return takes it to almost exactly half, and it uses Double Team, everybody's favorite move. But Spyshack gets the last laugh with another critical hit right through that Double Team, taking it out. His Ace Milotic comes out next. Earthquake does over half, activating its Citrus Berry, and it goes for Toxic, just like I thought it would. This gets cured immediately by the Pecha Berry, and 1 more Earthquake finishes it off, only leaving his final Pokemon left, his Gyarados. Because of its ability Intimidate, I go for Ice Beam as it begins to set up Dragon Dance. It gets greedy though, and goes for a second one. The following Ice Beam is just barely not enough, forcing Wallace to heal. But the next Ice Beam freezes it solid, so I go for Return in attempt to trick him into not using another full restore. Unfortunately, however, he does anyways. But then Spyshack freezes it solid again. You little monster! It stays frozen, and Return this time still causes him to heal again. His item spamming is relentless. This defrosts Gyarados once more, and the following Ice Beam fails to freeze it for a 3rd time. It uses Earthquake, blasting Spyshack, but he survives with only 69 hit points remaining, firing off 1 final Ice Beam, getting another critical hit. What an insanely clutch moment. Nice work, Spyshack. That took a long time. We just became the champions of the Hoenn region, only ever using a single Swinub in battle. But we're not done just yet. We're gonna fight the true final boss in Steven Stone. And since we have the type advantage, let's try it without any further training. Oh, right. He has the type advantage too. While he doesn't always use Steel Wing, and while Steel Wing can miss, there's absolutely no way we're beating him right now. We can't even one-shot his Aggron with a 4 times super effective Earthquake that gets stabbed. What makes you think we're gonna beat Metagross? Let's try level 90? At level 90, Spyshack's able to one-shot Aggron, but even with a Pecha Berry to avoid damage from Skarmory, we can't one-shot Cradily. I don't even think we could at level 100, meaning we're getting hit with a Giga Drain no matter what. And then Armaldo comes out, also something we can't one-shot, and it takes us down with Ancient Power. We need to be just a little bit of a higher level to take a further hit from Armaldo. But even then, how do we beat Metagross and Claydol? At level 95, we can survive the Ancient Power from Armaldo if everything goes the same as it had been. But then his ace Metagross comes out, and Earthquake takes it out in a single shot from a critical hit. There is no way that didn't matter. That must have been necessary. Only leaving one Pokemon left, his Claydol, and we have Blizzard. This should be it. Blizzard lands, but fails to take it out, but freezes it solid. Spyshack, you monster! He heals with a full restore, but it doesn't matter, as I use Return for a little bit of damage to ensure our final Blizzard finishes the hit on Claydol and Steven Stone once and for all. There you have it. We just beat Pokemon Emerald, only using a single Swinub in battle. And for Spyshack's incredible effort, I let him evolve into Piloswine. And we have won this game! As always, I love playing through the Hoenn region. And despite doing it this time with a Pokemon weak to water, it was fairly easy for the most part. This surprised me a great deal. Going into this, I figured this would be another insanely brutal challenge like the Meltan run we did on Pokemon Sword. But actually, apart from a few battles towards the end game, it was pretty straightforward, which is really shocking considering Swinub's weak to water, and the fact that it's not very strong. I upload a Pokemon Challenge video just like this one every single weekend on Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and maybe sometimes other days too, just like this one. So again, if you have not done so already and you want to see more videos just like this, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for more. And of course, leaving a like and a nice comment down below before you leave also goes a really long way to help the channel, and it definitely makes my day a ton seeing a new face down below. And who knows, maybe I'll even feature your comment in a future Pokemon Challenge run. And maybe if you have some cool suggestions for future challenges, leave those down below as well. Just like the Swinub run, that was a Pokemon I saw suggested a lot by you guys, and I want to start doing more of those in the future. So leave them down below, and be sure to thumbs up any of them you see from other people that you'd like to see as well. If you want to watch another Pokemon Challenge run from me, I highly recommend watching me play through Heart Gold as Tracy Sketchit from the Pokemon anime. It's a current mini-series I'm doing, and we'll be continuing that this Saturday with the Sinnoh region, so it's a perfect time to catch up. Or if you just want to see another challenge video and you're not sure and you'd like to see them all so you can pick from them yourself, you can check out the playlist containing all of them I've done so far. Both of those things can be found over here. With that being said, I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video as always, and hopefully I'll get to see you guys next time for another Pokemon Challenge. Until then, hopefully I'll see you guys then. Thank you so much for watching!